Ladies and gentlemen, let's start your engine. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thomas Love here from beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia, and today I'd like to discuss with you this exciting news because I see it coming in 2023, a new interpretation of our camera sector. How do we want to define it? Do we want to define it like fixed lens, full frame cameras, which I think is a bit limiting, or do we want to include all the EDC solutions that are addressing the same needs? And this is my preferred choice. So if we want to consider all the EDC cameras, well, we have to start a very long story because we're starting from smartphones, and so smart cameras which are now integrated into smartphones, and they can benefit from AI, and they are also benefiting from bigger, beautiful lenses such as Leica lenses or Hasselblad lenses. But the main limitation that smartphones are facing, fortunately for us, and this is why we're still shooting with cameras, is that they have these very tiny sensors. So the biggest sensor available as we speak in smartphones is a 1-inch sensor, which is the same dimension of the sensor that I had in my EDC. That was the Sony RX1r Mark IV. I love that camera. It was so compact and easy to use, and I always had it with me. It came with me to Iceland, it came with me to New Zealand and so many other different countries in the world, as a complement to my full frame camera, because that one, it was my EDC and I always had it with me together with a bunch of spare batteries, because the battery was so small that I had to replace it from time to time. But it was a very good alternative. I never started using smartphone as a camera. It is my bad, of course, but I was very comfortable in using that Sony camera. And so when I start considering its bigger sister, which is the Sony RX1r Mark II, that is still available, I was not convinced, and this is why I picked up my Leica Q2 instead. Why is that? It was a very good proposition. It was very similar to the Leica Q2 because they had almost same size camera body. The Sony was a bit smaller because the Leica had a bigger battery and the EVF integrated in the camera body, while the Sony had the one that pops out when needed, which is a very good solution when you need it, but it doesn't push you to use it every time. While I want to be really in my camera and I really want to have a close look at the scene and what's happening right there with the EVF rather than the rear screen. But the interesting thing that I see happening right now, apart from Zeiss discontinued their offering, it was a very good camera, nobody really understood it, and despite Fuji being so popular, because the X100F and the X100V are so very popular as EDCs right now, they have beautiful lenses and they have also this color scheme which people really appreciate. But apart from that, I'm going back to considering the two main players here, Leica and Sony, because I'm really thrilled about the interpretation that they will give us later this year of the same concept. Sony is expected to release 3 new cameras in between March and June 2023. One of them will be, of course, the Sony A9 Mark III, and another one might be as well, and it is rumored to be that, the Sony RX1r Mark III. The two cameras will be even more alike than they are right now. So I'm referring to the Leica Q3 and the Sony RX1r Mark III. Both brands are assessing the same needs, and they cannot be so naive to avoid fixing the lacks that they're having right now. What lacks am I talking about? When I'm referring to the Leica Q2, honestly, I don't see any lack because I'm using it every day and I really enjoy it. But for a lot of people, a new camera launched in 2023 needs to have face detect, autofocusing, tracking, eye, face recognition, so on and so forth. And so probably Leica Q3 will have that face detect that they are benefiting from the L2 technology that they developed together with Panasonic, while Sony will have, of course, to implement a weather sealing in that camera body and a bigger battery, because the one that they had right now was not lasting so long. When it comes down to the lenses, also the lenses were very comparable, because Leica was using a 28mm f1.7 when Sony was having the 35mm f2, which are very comparable. And we don't know now what lens will Sony use, because they're not so friendly with Zeiss anymore. They might be developing a new lens together with Tamron. Let's see, let's wait and see. And for sure it will be a fast prime lens. So let me know down here in the comments what you think about these new cameras coming this year, or feel free to reach out for terrible life advice. With that, I hope you got some value out of this video. If you did, please remember to like it, share it on your social media, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the new videos to come, and I guess I will see you later. Thank you. Bye bye.